Hello everyone, it's Sandra and welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to go over my current everyday makeup routine. Sometimes I get in these phases. I stumble upon a makeup look that I really like, and then I just do it every single day until I get sick of it, and then I switch up some products. So today's video is going to be all about that, featuring a couple of new things that I've incorporated and that I've really enjoyed, along with some old tried and true favorites. You know the drill. Now my skincare is on, my skin is prepped, and the one thing that I've been doing more regularly is using this eye mask, the Dieux Forever eye mask. It's a reusable silicone eye patch, and it's designed to just work with your eye cream. So you just put on your eye cream, maybe a little bit more generous of a layer than normal, and then you put on the eye patches and you let that soak in for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I've been doing this more regularly. I just put this on while I'm drinking my morning coffee, and it really makes a difference, both in the way my concealer performs throughout the day, and it kind of makes all those fine lines disappear. It plumps the under eye area so beautifully. So I either use it with my regular eye cream, just any eye cream will work, or if I really want some extra depuffing action, the Clarins Total Eye Contour Gel is one of my favorite products for that. I've been talking about this for a while. This is one of my favorites. So yeah, this morning, that's what I did. I needed some extra depuffing and plumping power, and I just feel like my under eye area looks so nice and refreshed, and it depuffs, it brightens, it smooths things out. I'm just really into that combination. And then my cheeks were a little bit dry this morning, so I added a little bit of the Chantecaille Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint. This is a really thin moisturizer with a little bit of very faint rosy glow to it. It's really nice. It's a nice to have. It's not a must have by any means, but I do enjoy kind of priming my cheeks with it if my cheeks feel really dull and dehydrated. In terms of foundation, my most used foundations have been either the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation in shade Vanilla or the Suqqu Nude Wear foundation in shade 25. This is the foundation that I picked up in London, and I've been loving it. It's really lightweight, very skin-like. It's got a beautiful glow to it, but it's not too much. It wears nicely throughout the day. And then a couple of times I've also tried the new Rose Inc foundation. I received this from the brand in PR. This is the Softlight Skin Smoothing Liquid Foundation. I have this in shade 10N, which is actually a really great color match for me, but I'm not really loving this. Like the couple of times that I've worn it, it has not worn well on my skin. I'm still testing it out. I'm not sure if it's my skin prep or it's just not jiving with my skin type. It almost reminds me of the Guerlain Terracotta Le Tint foundation, but not quite as much coverage as that, and not like a little bit thinner. It's almost like if the NARS Tinted Moisturizer and the Guerlain Terracotta Le Tint Foundation had a little foundation baby. That's kind of the vibe of this foundation. That's my impression of it so far. So can't say I'm blown away by it or anything. I'm still going to keep trying it, seeing if I can get it to work for me, but it might just not be the foundation for me. Foundation is such a personal thing. Even if we have similar skin types, there are so many variables, and we can have different experiences with things. Today I'm going to use the Suqqu because I wore the Chantecaille in my last video, so I wanted to switch things up. Now, my least favorite thing about this is the packaging. I'm living in constant fear that I'm going to just smear this all over my clothing. Sometimes I drop it directly on my face, but I do like to apply this with fingers. It really reminds me of the Dore Nude Air Foundation. So if you liked that foundation back in the day, this is so similar to that. Virtually undetectable on the skin. It's really thin, really weightless. It can emphasize dry patches. So I would recommend exfoliating your skin. I've just been loving really light bases lately. I like to see my skin shine through, even though, you know, My skin's not perfect. I've got imperfections. I don't mind seeing them shine through, to be honest. This just diffuses everything. So you can see it just looks really, really natural on the skin. If you like the Chantecaille Future Skin, if you like the Chanel Water Fresh tint, you will really like this. It's very much in that kind of category. The only downside is it's really hard to find if you are in North America. Now, if you have this, do you need this? Absolutely not. They do the same thing, but I'm obsessed with foundation and I'm always excited to try new stuff. In terms of concealer, the Givenchy Prisme Libre concealer is still a favorite of mine, just to add a little bit of coverage where I need it in certain areas of my face. This is excellent. It's been one of my favorite beauty discoveries of the year so far. I use this in shade N250, and I love using a brush to blend it out. This is a Sonia G Jumbo Concealer Brush. For the under eye, the Haus Labs Concealer has been such a favorite. It wears so beautifully. It's so long wearing. It has a really good medium coverage. And if I want to lighten it up a little bit, give it a little bit of luminosity, I just mix in a drop of the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. And this concealer is lighter coverage and it has more light reflection in it. So together, they work really, really nicely. Since the base that I'm wearing today is more sheer and luminous, I try to match that with my concealer. And this is the BK Beauty A506 brush. I'm going to set my under eyes with the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. And this does come with a puff, but I never use it. I like a triangular powder puff, and this is just a triangular powder puff that I bought from Amazon. I feel like the shape of this allows me to get right in between my eyebrows and under my eyes a lot easier. The good old faithful Becca bronzer. Look at this. Almost done. I am so excited. This has been in my project pan for a while, and it's a beautiful bronzer, but I am ready. I'm ready to move on. And this is an old Wayne Goss brush. Oh, the number is faded. What is the number of this? This is the number 12. Next, I'm going to do brows, and I recently bought the Victoria Beckham. This is the BabyBlade in the shade Dark Brown. I just wanted something quick and easy for days and, when I'm too lazy to use my NYX brow pen. Brow pens sometimes require a bit more precision and a bit more effort. This is a bit faster, and I really like it. I like that it's not waxy. It's not as waxy as the Anastasia or the Hourglass brow pencils. It's like a drier formula, but it's really, really pigmented. And then for my brow gel, the Benefit Brow Wax. I still love this so much. It's like the perfect fluffy brow wax without being overkill. It doesn't give you that super laminated look, which I'm not personally a fan of on myself, but I like a slightly fluffy look, and this just gives me a really nice hold without being crunchy at all. For eyeshadow, I either do Chantecaille Sylvie all over the lid and then something shimmery on top, or I just let it be, or I reach for the Clé de Peau Starlight Splendor Quad. Not a must-have by any means, another nice to have. And I just love dipping my brush in this shade, using it to warm up my crease just a little bit. I think I was inspired by the beautiful fall foliage outside, and then now it's snowing, so while I'm freezing, I need to warm myself up with some makeup, you know what I mean? This is a newer product. It's the Surratt Souffle eyeshadow. This was sent to me by the brand. They asked me to select 3 shades, so I selected the shade Ciel Dore, which is really, really pretty. This is This is almost like a Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter in an eyeshadow form. Then I have the shade Gris Dieux, which is a gorgeous, shiny khaki. And then the shade Rose Rev, which I recently used in a YouTube short, and I also use this on Instagram. I love this color. It's a really gorgeous, plummy rose. But this, for some reason, this doesn't perform as nicely as the other two. Such a fun texture. It's like pudding. It's like wet and cold, and it's like touching jello or pudding. That's the type of texture. And they're very sheer. A really pretty, wet look, but it sets. So I actually find them quite long wearing. They're really beautiful toppers. Very elegant. This color, since it has the least amount of glitter in it, seems to perform the best. It goes on smoother than the ones that contain a bit more glitter, but it really gives this beautiful wet gleam to the eyes, and they feel really nice and cooling as well. I just have to be a little bit more careful with the rose shade. I'm going to mix these two shades from the Clé de Peau quad to smoke out my lower lash line a little bit, just to add some definition. And this is the Refer 14 mini brush. Nothing holds my curl anymore. Even mascaras that I used to love and that used to work for me don't work for me anymore. So I don't know what's going on. I'm using the Tower 28 mascara today. For blush, my usual go-tos have been either Merit Fox, if I want a cream blush, or Hermes Rose Tan if I really want to lean into the warmth. And this brush is so soft. My NARS Giorgio brush that I had for 12 years finally died. Last time I washed it, it just clumps of hair fell out. So it was time to say goodbye and get a new blush brush. And this is the limited edition brush from Refer, and it's got these beautiful cherry blossoms on it, and it is so incredibly soft. It's like a little paw. And then the last thing I've been doing to kind of marry everything together is using my other Project Pan product, the Sicily Blurring HD finishing powder, on this large fluffy Refer brush. This is number 30, and just buffing everything gently. I have such a love-hate relationship with this powder. Sometimes I use it and I feel like it does nothing. It really depends on what product I'm using with it, but in this particular routine, this powder makes a difference. Last thing is lips, and I'm still on my Chanel Nude, what is this called? Nude Brun lip liner. You can see that I'm loving this. I'm going through this quite quickly. Again, I'm leaning into the warmth, so this is a warmer brown. And I either wear this lip liner by itself and just do clear lip balm on top, or if I want to kick things up a notch, I do just a little dab of the Suqqu lipstick in the shade 116. But I dab it on as opposed to swiping because I just want a light kiss of color. Going to add just a touch of the Rhode Clear lip balm. This Suqqu lipstick I think was limited edition, and again, it's by no means a must-have. I just think it's really pretty. This is like the toned down cousin of Merit Cabo. So I think if you just want to kind of achieve a similar look, just pair Merit Cabo with a brown lip liner and just do a very sheer dab of it. But you can see here they're quite similar. Merit Cabo is just ever so slightly brighter. This is Merit Cabo over here, and then this is the Suqqu 116. The Suqqu is just ever so slightly more brown and more toned down. I guess the moral of this look is if you're living in a really cold climate and you see barely any sunshine, channel some warmth and some sunlight with some warm toned makeup. This is what the makeup looks like in natural daylight a couple of hours after it's set onto my skin, and it just looks really nice and fresh, and it wears beautifully throughout the day. I could go out at the end of my workday and not feel self-conscious about my makeup at all. So that's it for me. Let me know your cold weather makeup coping mechanisms in the comments. I can't wait to catch up with you over there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.